Okay, sorry, I was on mute. A very good evening to all of you. Can all of you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir, we can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you, sir.
Okay. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to talk about model verbs. Okay, we are going to start with this concept and we are going to discuss about must, should, and ought to in the sense of a strong probability. Okay. So if we talk about a strong probability, it means that something is highly probable or very likely to be true. Okay. Strong probability means something which is highly probable or very likely to be true. If we talk about must is considered strong, considered to have a stronger probability than should and ought to. Okay. Like here you can see that the verb must in the meaning strong probability is stronger than the verb should and ought to. Whenever you use must, it stresses that you are almost sure about anything. I'll repeat again. Whenever you use must, it means that you're almost sure about anything. In the present, must expresses almost sure that it is true. Okay. So whenever you are using must in a present statement, you are almost sure that XYZ thing is true. Okay. And whenever you use should and ought to, you expect it to be true. Okay. About a situation in the future. This we will discuss. Don't worry about this. Okay. And you can also see here, should and ought to express the speaker's strong expectations. Okay. Not the probability, but the expectations of the speaker. So whenever you use must, it talks about that you're almost sure about anything. And whenever you use should, it talks about that you expect something to be true. Is it clear? Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here are some of the examples for you better understand. Okay. It's 10 o'clock. He must be in office now. So if you are saying he must be in office now, what does it mean? It means that you are sure that you're almost sure, okay, not 100%, but you're almost sure that that person is in office because of some reason. Like here it is mentioned because today is his working day and he is usually at his desk in the morning. Okay. So that is more like a probability. Okay. But a probability in which you are almost sure. He should be at home after 8. Okay. He should be at home after 8. What does this mean? That you strongly expect her to be at home after 8 because she usually comes back at 8. So what is the difference in these two statements? First difference is in one statement you are using must and in the other statement you are using should. So whenever you are using must, it tells you that you are almost sure about that thing. And whenever you use should, it tells you that you strongly expect that thing. Okay. So both are different. Here we have some more examples. Is everything ready? The guests ought to be here soon. Okay. So here again, you are strongly expecting the guests to be there as soon as possible. The boy is reading a book and paying attention to anything else. The book must be very interesting. Must be very interesting. It means that you're almost sure that the book is interesting. Let's buy these books. They should be interesting. So look at these two statements again. In one statement, you are saying the book must be very interesting. It means that you're almost sure about that the book is. There's some disturbance from one side. Varun, please mute it. Okay. So like I was saying, if we talk about the book must be very interesting, it means that you're almost sure that the book is interesting. And if you say this should be interesting, it means you don't know anything about books, about that particular book, and you expect them to be interesting. Is this point clear? Shall we move forward?
Yes, sir.
Vikas sir, Devlina, Jyotsna ma'am, Varun.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, we can use all of them in general to talk about past. Okay, when you use must, Again, it talks about that you're almost sure that it took place. Okay, whenever you are using must in a statement, it means that that XYZ thing took place, almost took place, not 100%. Okay, but in general, you can say that it took place. If you're using should and ought to, it usually expresses that it is expected. Okay, but it did not take place. This is really important. Whenever you are using must, that thing happened. At least you feel that that thing happened. Okay, and whenever you are using should, okay, it means that that thing never took place. Okay, this, sorry, this part we have
So can
already
you repeat
discussed.
it once?
Yeah, whenever you are using must, it means that you're almost sure that it took place. Okay, we can say that 70 to 80% sure you are that XYZ thing happened. And if you are using should in a statement to talk about past thing, it never happened. Okay. For example, I should have gone to XYZ college. It means that I never went to that college. Okay. This part, this should part we have already discussed. Okay. For example, he came back very late. His mother must have been worried. So you are almost sure that his mother will be, his mother was worried. If you are saying, I am worried, she should have come back an hour ago. Okay, so it means that she was late by an hour or so. Okay, so she never came an hour ago. Okay, let's say you were expecting her to be there by 11. So she never came at 11. That's why you are using here should. Is it clear
Yes, sir.
to others?
Clear.
Okay, fine.
Clear. Clear.
Okay. So whenever we are using must in the present tense, what does that mean? Okay. It in general means you are talking about something with a strong probability. Okay. We use the words like be, know, like, feel after must to talk about a strong probability in the present tense. Okay. And we can also use with continuous infinitives as well. Okay. For example, he must be a teacher, must be a teacher. Okay. So this sentence is in the present tense. They must be rich. So this must be talks about a strong probability. It means that you are almost sure that they are rich. Okay. She must know his telephone. Must know. Like I told you, you can use must with these words to express things in the present. He must be working on his report at the library now. Must be working. Okay. There's no light in the windows. They must be sleeping. They must be sleeping. Okay. So you can use must with these few words, be, know, like, feel, to talk about things in the present. Now, whenever we use must in the past, it has technically got three usages. Okay. One is perfect infinitive. I told you about these infinitives in the last class. Okay. The other one is perfect continuous infinitive. And the last one is perfect passive infinitive. If we talk about perfect infinitive, you can use the sentences in must have been a, must plus have plus V3. Okay. This is your first usage. Okay. To talk about things in the past where you have a strong sense of things, or you feel the thing you are almost sure about XYZ thing. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So whenever you are almost sure about things, for example, it must have been a mistake. So you are almost sure about this thing that it was a mistake. She must have been at home yesterday. Okay. So you're almost sure about this thing that she was home yesterday. Some other examples like it must have been Victor. You received a package and you guessed the person. She must have left for New York already. So you knew about these things that she may be leaving for New York and all. That's why you are saying she must have left for New York. So whenever you use must, you already know things. And then you make a calculated prediction about things. Okay. She must not have known his address. He must have told her the truth. These are a few examples. You just need to understand the concept. Okay. Similarly, we can also use it with perfect continuous infinitive. What is perfect continuous infinitive? Have plus been plus verb plus ing. Okay. She must have been walking her dog at 7 o'clock yesterday. Okay. So like I told you, it is, you are almost sure about this thing. Again, he must have been sleeping when she called him in the morning. A calculated prediction, or you almost sure about this thing. One more usage you have. See, basically why I'm giving you some examples, so that you know these type of usages are also possible. So one usage is where you are using must plus have plus third form of the verb. The other usage is where you are using must plus have plus been plus verb plus ing. One more usage you have where you are using it in the sense of perfect passive voice. Okay. He looks happy. He must have been offered a new job. Okay. You can convert this in active voice if you wish. It must have been done already. So these are three usages that you can use must in the past tense. I told you about the usage of must in the past, and I also told you about the usage of must in the present. Okay. Now we will talk about the usage of must in the future. But before that, please tell me whatever I mentioned till now, it is clear to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Prakash sir, Jyotsna ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, in my point of view, must is if you are damn sure.
Exactly. Or you can say almost sure. Okay. It is not like 100%,
Sorry,
but yeah,
sir.
still you can say that, yeah, it with a strong possibility you can conclude things. Okay, then you can
There
use
is
must.
no option for us to escape or something. That must and should we have to go like that? We are going to use must.
That is
We
in the
must.
future. That I'll tell you. See, if you are talking in the past, let's say let's take any of these examples. Okay, for example, she must not have known his address, or she must have been at home yesterday. So it is not 100% thing. If you are saying to anyone, she must have been home yesterday, so it is not like actually she was at home. It is your calculated prediction. It is a strong probability, or you're almost sure. Why you are sure? Because on regular basis at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, she is at her home. So that's why you are saying. It is not 100% sure thing. It is just a strong possibility or probability. Always remember that. Where you are sure about things, that I'll let you know. Okay. Whenever you are talking about must in the future, always remember that you are not talking about probability. Okay. So whenever you use must to talk about things in the past, to talk about things in the present, you are talking about a strong probability. But whenever you're using must in the future, we are not talking about a strong probability. So what does it refer? Okay, we use it with some adverbs that I'll let you know, or adverbial phrases to express a strong necessity. Okay, so remember that in the past and present, you talk about probability, and in future, what you talk about? Necessity. Okay. Okay. His bag is here. He must be in the office. This sentence is in which tense? Present, past, future. Please unmute all of you.
Present.
Present tense.
Yes.
Okay. So like I told you, in present tense, what will it mean? It will mean that you are talking, you have a strong probability about this thing. You're almost sure about this thing. Okay. Now, if you are saying he must be in office tomorrow, so this tomorrow is your adverb. Okay. Like I told you, you have to use some words to use these modal verbs to refer to future, because you cannot use here will or something like that. Okay, that will be incorrect. So you are using this word tomorrow. He must be in office tomorrow. We are going to have an important. Okay, so when you are saying he must be in office tomorrow, it doesn't talk about your strong probability. What does it talk about? A strong necessity. It means that if he is not in the office tomorrow, something big will happen, or you will lose some deal or something like that. Okay, so he must be in office tomorrow. It means that you are talking about something which is a necessity for you. Okay, for example, if I say Mahendra Singh Dhoni should perform in today, sorry, must perform in today's match. So if I am saying Mahendra Singh Dhoni must perform in today's match, it means that if he doesn't perform, something wrong will happen, or CSK will lose points or something like that. Okay, so if you are using must in the sense of future, it means that you are referring to a strong necessity. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will discuss a few more things about must. Okay, the first meaning of must is a strong necessity. Okay, this is apart from everything. Okay, like I have already told you, modal verbs, why they are a typical topic or they are a bit tough topic, because they depend on your context. Okay, so in general, like Jyotsna ma'am was mentioning, in general, must has got the usage of a strong necessity. Okay, if in any statement you are saying must, it refers to your strong necessity. Okay, if that thing won't happen, something will happen or something like that. It is a necessary thing at that time. Okay, for example, he must do it right now. So let's say if that person is not doing this thing, so something will happen, or maybe, okay, he doesn't have any choice. He has to do that thing. Okay. The same thing, we can also refer strong necessity with a negative statement as well. Okay, I must not forget to call her. Okay, so maybe if I will forget to call her, maybe she will be upset or something like that. Okay, so here also I'm talking about a strong necessity. Varun, Prakash sir, are you saying anything? Actually, my voice is being repeated. Sir, can you please mute, Prakash sir? Okay, fine. You can also use must in the sense of prohibition, though it also comes in the meaning of strong necessity or must being a strong word. For example, you must not go there alone. You must not do this. You must not open the fridge. You must not drink before you are 21 years age or something like that. Okay, so must is also used to refer to the prohibition of things. Okay, if you want to prohibit someone from doing something, you will use the word must. Okay, look at this example, all of you, and tell me what does it mean. He must not speak Russian. All of you, he must not speak Russian. What does it mean?
We don't know Russian.
Okay. Prakash sir, Varun,
Maybe the
Deblina?
person, yeah, maybe the person he's talking to in Russian, that person may not know Russian. That's why we're using must here.
Okay.
There
Varun,
might
he
be
must not speak Russian. What does it mean?
Sorry, it's a kind of 100% the probability, right?
Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah.
So
Varun,
in my
continue.
opinion, sir, in my opinion, he is not expert in Russian. So someone is asking that he must not speak Russian. Means he is very bad in speaking Russian.
No. It's not like that, sir. For example, if the person he is a Russian native, and in the meeting, I'm not going to allow him to speak in Russian.
Okay, fine. Prakash sir?
Actually, he wants to say that he don't know Russian, and he's almost sure that he don't speak Russian.
Okay, fine. So like I told you earlier as well, that context is very important. Okay, if you don't have context, you cannot refer to the meaning of a statement. Okay, for example, here, he must not speak Russian. Here you have two meanings. The first meaning is, I don't allow him to speak Russian. Okay, he must not speak Russian. Let's say you work in an office where Russian is not allowed, or communicating in Hindi is not allowed. Okay, so you must not speak Hindi in your office. Okay, because it is not allowed there. So I have prohibited you from speaking Hindi in the office. The second usage is, I'm almost sure that he can't speak Russian. For example, if I say, Varun, you must not speak Spanish. So it means that I'm almost sure that you don't know Spanish. Okay, so there are two usages. Now you have to you have to refer to a context. You have to add some statement by which we can understand what you actually want to say. If you just stop here, he must not speak Russian, it doesn't tell us the whole meaning. So you have to complete your sentence as well. Similarly, in above example as well, he must read these magazines. Okay. So here also you are you either are talking about a strong necessity, maybe because if he will not read these magazines, he will fail his exam. So that is a strong necessity. And if we talk about a strong probability, let's say you kept 10 magazines in front of some person and you are just guessing that you are standing with your friends and you are just saying he must read these magazines. So you are just making an assumption there. You are making a strong probability that there's a strong probability that he may read all those magazines or he might read all those magazines. Okay. So basically what is important is not only knowing where you have to use these modal verbs, but actually what is more important is in what context you are fitting it. Okay. Okay. So for example, like I told you, context is very important. So look at these examples now. He must go to bank as soon as possible. Okay. Though the meaning is written next to the statement, but still try to give you meaning about it. He must go to bank as soon as possible. What does it mean? By adding this as soon as possible, what difference does it make? Tell me, all of you. Please
Maybe
unmute.
something is urgent.
Yeah, maybe something is urgent and it is so important for him to go to the bank as fast as he can, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as soon as possible is a word which indicates that we are talking about a strong necessity. Okay. Just look at the next example. He must have gone to bank already. Okay. So by using this sentence in past tense, must have gone. Okay. By using this sentence in the past tense, what you are talking about, you are referring to a strong probability. Okay. You're not sure about this thing, but you are saying that he must have gone to bank already. It means by some calculative assumptions, you are saying that he must have gone to the bank already. Similarly, we have these last two sentences as well. She must not see this letter. What does it mean? Varun, what's the meaning of this sentence?
He must not see this letter. Means there is a prohibition. It is rightly written.
Okay. So like here also you can see, I have prohibited her from seeing this letter. She must not see this letter. Maybe that letter is personal to me or something. Okay. But if you're saying she must not have seen this letter, it talks about a strong probability. Let's say you received a letter at 11 a.m. That time you were at your office. Okay. But you somehow got to know that a letter has been received in your name. Okay. You live with your wife. So now you are making an assumption that she must not have seen this letter. Okay. She could have, she couldn't have, you don't know about it. Okay. So what you are making, what you are thinking about is you are just making a strong assumption about it. You are just having a strong probability about it that there is a high chance that she may be busy with her work, with kids. And that's why she has not read your letter. Okay. Is it clear? So the context of the statement is really important. Okay. So now we will discuss about should and ought to. But before that, please tell me all what we have discussed is clear. If you have any doubts regarding anything, you can ask me.
Clear, sir.
Others?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we talk about should
Sir,
and ought
can
to.
you please provide me the recording session, sir?
Yeah, definitely. I will do that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we talk about should and ought to. Okay. Like I told you, should and ought to, when we talk about probability or strong probability, they express a strongly expected action. Okay, always remember that they express is strongly expected action. So expectation is different. Okay. And it is similar in should and ought to case as well. You use some adverbs or adverbial phrases to refer something in the future. Okay. If we talk about ought to, what is ought to first of all? Ought to is a close synonym of should. Okay. But should is more common as compared to ought to. Okay. In American English, though we follow much of the British English, but these days we have started following American English. So in American English, should usually replaces ought to in questions, negative statements, and in the past. Okay. In the past, you will use should. In questions, you will use should. And in negatives, you will use should. Okay. In other statements, present, future, you can use either of them. You can use should, you can use ought to. But whenever you are using it in the past, you will use should. Whenever you are using, talking about, you are making a question, you will use should. And whenever you are speaking a negative statement, you will use should. Okay. Let's have a few examples here. She should be back in about an hour. First of all, tell me this sentence is in present, past, or future?
Future.
Okay. So this sentence is future. Okay, should be back in about an hour. So like I told you, to talk about future, you can either use should or you can use ought to. So we are using both of them here. Next statement, he should be in Rome by now. Let's call him. This sentence is in present, past, or future?
So it's in present.
Others?
Sir, you were expecting, sir.
There is a suggestion, sir.
Okay. Basically, I'm not talking about all this. Okay. Basically, I'm talking about this sentence. The sense of this sentence is in present, past, or future. We are talking about an expected scenario that that person, XYZ person, has reached Rome. Okay. And after he has reached Rome, then only we can call him. Okay. So basically, the sense of this sentence is in the past. Okay. And like I told you, whenever you are referring past, okay, you will not be using ought to. Someone was saying anything? Okay, I'll repeat again. Let's say Varun reaches his office at 12. Okay, so the time is now 1 p.m. or something. Okay, so what will I say? Varun should be in office by now. Okay, so basically what we are referring is, we are referring to the past. Okay, let's call him or something like that. The lecture should be interesting. This sentence is in present or past or future?
Present.
Okay. Others?
So it feels like future.
Okay. So it is in future. Okay. So like I told you, in future sentences, you can also use ought to, or you can use should. It is up to you. We have some more examples. Okay. When I'll share the video, please go through all these examples. Okay. Basically, like I told you, this is important. Whenever you are, and it is only in American English. So if you see some of the examples where ought to is used in the past tense, so they are using it in the sense of British English and not in the American English. Okay. So it is not like 100% rule. It is up to you. But in general, this is followed these days. So if we talk about the meaning of should and ought to, okay, like I told you, for must, the most common meaning is necessity. Okay, so in the similar manner, if we talk about should and ought to, the most common meaning is giving advice. Okay, if we talk about must, the most common meaning is necessity. If we talk about should and ought to, the most common meaning is advice. Okay. For example, you should call her. What does it mean? You are advising someone to call her. Okay. You should not go there alone. So you are giving your advice to XYZ person to not go there alone. Okay. Again, the same thing. Here also we are referring to context. Okay, if you don't have a particular context, you cannot say that either you are referring to a strong probability or you are referring to advice. Okay. He should arrive by train. What does it mean? Tell me. If the class gets disconnected, please join again. Okay. He should arrive by train. What does it mean?
Actually, in this sentence, someone gives suggestion that the person come by the train.
Okay. So basically, if you are saying he should arrive by train, it means, first of all, either you are giving him advice, okay, or you are expecting him to come by train. Both the things are a probable situation here, okay. It is also a possibility that he comes by train or he come by train, or you are suggesting that person because of this COVID situation or something, you are suggesting that person to come by plane or train. Okay, it is up to that person. So basically, if you don't know the context, you cannot tell in what situation you are using should. You are using it in the sense of a strong possibility, or you are using it in the sense of advice. Okay, so like I told you that whenever we are forming questions, we don't use ought to, okay? But in general, I'm not saying in all of the cases, but in general, we don't even use must and should as well, okay, in forming questions. So what is that we use to form questions whenever we are talking about probability? Okay, we use the phrases like, is he likely? Is it likely that? Is he likely to? Are you sure that? And there are some other variants as well. Okay, for example, is he likely to be at home now? Okay, so here you are forming a question talking about a probability. Is it likely that he will come back soon? Okay, so again here you are forming a question talking about a probability. Is she likely to go there tomorrow? Was he likely to tell her the truth? Are you sure that he's still at the office? Do you think that they will help us? Okay, so these two we already use. Okay, but we don't use the phrase, is he or she likely? Okay, so this also we can start using. Are you sure we still use? Okay, do you think we still use? Okay, so these are a few other things that you can start using to talk about some probable situations whenever you are questioning something or someone. See, we use must, should to talk about must, should, and ought to talk about possibility. Okay, but there are some other adverbs that you can use in place of must, should, and ought to. He is probably a student. He is probably at home. Okay, so probably is a word that you can use to talk about possibility, okay, or probability. There's some other phrases. For example, I'm sure that, I think that, you can use in the similar sense. For example, I'm sure that he lives near. I'm sure that he will be able to help you. I think that he's rich. I don't think that he can do it. I think that he left for New York yesterday. Okay, so you can replace, like I have earlier also told you, modal verbs can easily be replaced. Okay, so you can use some of the phrases to replace it. There's one more phrase here, I expect. You can use it in the sense of, I expect him to arrive in an hour. He didn't expect us to find out the truth. So this was all about our class. If you guys have any confusion, you can ask me. Deblina, Jyotsna ma'am, Varun, Prakash sir.
Yes, sir.
Jyotsna ma'am, is there any
No
confusion?
confusion, sir. And if you share the recording, so we go through it.
Okay, okay. I'll share the recording about this. And if you have any confusion after that, you can always ask me. So we'll conclude here. Okay.
True, sir.
Okay.
So thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you, everybody.